Welcome to Washington, D.C. So we're here at the Thomas Jefferson Memorial, the first memorial at the National Mall. So, what a great start to this morning. Funniest thing happened. We're on the bus, ready to go, and Martha's like, yeah, I've counted, everyone's on board. Is anyone missing their buddy? You know, just to double check. And then 5 people showed up. 5 people were missing. Come on, Martha, you gotta lift your game. You can't leave people behind. You're listening to the dulcet tones of Aussie Aaron. Ah, look at me, I'm doing a voiceover. In front of me is the Lincoln Memorial Reflection Pool and Washington Monument. In just a few more steps. Oi, watch it. Celebrities coming through. And there you have it, the Lincoln Memorial. So, I think what today shows you is that the issue you have with war is that those who volunteer to serve their country will serve their country thinking that they are going to provide for the defense of their country. And the issue is, a lot of these wars, people were sent, those who were volunteer members, to fight in a foreign country, and that was never the intent of most people who serve. And the issue is the people who make the decisions to send the people never bear the consequences of those. And the general person, the general public, rarely, unless it is such a significant conflict that a significant portion of the population is forced, conscripted, to serve. And that is another issue with conscription. Those who have to serve are forced to do something that they don't necessarily want to do, and then those who are cheering it on are often those who have no skin in the game. So war should be avoided, and when you think about it, the number of people who sacrifice their lives, and for what? People will say for glory, for freedom, for this, but in reality a lot of people died, and all they've got is a name on a wall. That's the truth. So the victor always writes the history on a wall. So that's something you definitely have to take into consideration when you read about history, and that is war history. it mightn't be the entire truth, at least it's one side's perspective. I do feel sorry for those who served, and then you see the current state of today. Was it worth it? What's the counterfactual? What would it have looked like if history didn't turn out the way it did? Who knows? Anyway, that's it from the National Mall, at least for the time being. Catch you soon. I love it when the lunch is included. The National Museum of African American History. The meal was superb, a clear highlight of the venue. I was hoping for water, but the best I could do was ice. So you know what time it is. It's time for another roast chicken review. This time, I went to Whole Foods and bought an organic chicken. So this one cost me $13 US plus tax. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, look at that colouring. The colouring, yeah, it's a little lighter than what I normally buy, but the size is okay, and I'll let you know how it tastes. So, the chicken is a tad dry, especially the breast meat. The thigh meat, it's okay, but yeah, so there you have it for a Whole Foods roast chicken. I'll put a score up on the screen to let you know what I think about it. So I went to the Pentagon today. I couldn't take my camera inside, couldn't take anything inside, so I'm gonna have to describe what it was like. So first off, you go through the checkpoint and they confirm your ID, and then you go through like an airport security. Once you pass through that, you're then in the waiting lobby for the people to escort you around. We did have a couple of briefings, listened to that, and then we did the tour. So the tour was a tour of the hallways, and I guess the takeaway from that is I didn't realize that it's basically like an enclosed city. It's got everything, eating venues, like a jewelry store, a dentist. It's basically got everything. So we followed that around, walked. Well, we didn't walk the entire facility, but there's many different layers, escalators that take you between layers, and there's many different rings, I think from A to E, that you can walk through. E being the outer, A being the inner, and then we walked through the inner courtyard, so I got to see that. And then yeah, that was basically it for the Pentagon. So that was something different. I think one thing I've definitely noticed is I haven't seen any homeless people. They must all be in California. Well, at least the fair majority of them. I mean, I did see one homeless shelter underneath the bridge, but yeah, for the most part, have not seen any homeless. I haven't really walked around that much, to be honest, and I'm sure they're out here, but at least in this little area, haven't seen any yet. Yes, I'm here at Arlington Cemetery. This is the second time that I've been out here. The first time, let's just call him brother number 3, absolutely cracked it. Walking out here, it was raining, terrible weather, and that was the moment that he cracked. Yep. Never again has he ever gone on a holiday with me. Yeah, really. I don't know why. He's the one missing out. He's lost, really.
Go! Pull! Follow!
Well, it's time to go into the Capitol. Such fools. January 6th, what did you actually think you were going to achieve? They set you up and then they convicted you and you achieved nothing. You gotta learn, when the system is against you, you have to play within the rules and do not let them set you up. Come on, people. Come on. It's always the case that it's always government buildings that are extravagant. Everywhere you go, they're always spending way too much money on themselves. Money they don't have, that one day will catch up with them. That's what they do. They spend, 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 and then when they say that there's an issue, they need more and more and more. And they'll either print it, creating money, or they'll take it through taxation. Yeah, that's governments for you. Yeah, so we're in. Oh, what a start to the day. We lined up with a reservation. Well, initially we were in the section that you didn't have a reservation, shortest line ever. We then realized we had to go to the other line, and sure enough, that was a massive line. And then when we got to the front of that line, they then took us to the front of the without a reservation line. Fancy that. What a system. So much time wasted. Oh well, we're in now. Yeah, I just can't get over how much money they spend on these government buildings. Just have a look at this, and even the surrounding suburbs. No wonder why Washington DC has some of the highest per capita income or wealth suburbs. It's just outrageous. I don't know how the average American puts up with it. Just knowing the money, the center of money, shouldn't be around government. Yet it is. Yeah, crazy. Welcome to the Rotunda. Ooh, nice camera angles. Yes, he's definitely getting better. If only I brought a red blazer, I could have had a field day.
Representatives. One of the other factors here for the Senate is
I feel like I'm in a Chinese tour group. Wait, I remember this meal. This was the meal that I scored seconds. My good old African brother was subtly asking for the leftover chicken across from us, but good old Aussie Aaron could see that happening, asked for it direct, and got the chicken. Yes, I had to share it with my African brother because that's the type of person that I am, but a lesson in how to get seconds was learnt that day. What a fulfilling meal it was. This wraps up the Library of Congress. Yeah, I'm gonna have to vlog later because Lisa spreading misinformation for sure. Absolutely outrageous. I mean, but that's what happens when you're so biased. You cannot see your own bias in what you observe, what you deliver, what you admit, as in leave out. Outrageous. So it's the final full day, and I'm here just outside the north side of the White House, and there's some protests. They've kind of cleared out. Bunch of boomers, you know, too much time on their hands. God knows what they were protesting, and yeah, just walking around. There's black fencing everywhere, as you can kind of expect. And yeah, I'll give you a view of the White House. Yeah, well, that's as good as the GoPro is going to do. See if I can get a better shot, but it's all fenced off. Yeah, so one thing that I've probably already told you before, but Washington D is just extravagant. I don't know how it doesn't irritate the average American, just seeing the money that is invested in this locality compared to elsewhere. And yeah, that's what happens. Money centers around the center of government, and this is where the center of government is. I'm not sure what everyone's doing in my office, but it's getting pretty busy in here. Someone's got to tell them to leave.
In return, the Soviets agreed to remove their missiles, equipment, and personnel.
It's clear I am presidential material, that's for sure.
and alleviate hunger.
They're all wrong. I can't select any of the options.
Government can supply them.
We have to shore up the banking system as soon as possible. Government and business must work together to solve this.
These are all band-aid solutions and are not addressing the root cause of why this happened. Another mistaken government.
Documentary, because you can't make a documentary for us. Yeah. The Bush Kingdom, you know, we have the Songhai Empire. The Songhai Empire is also one of the biggest empires. But
Some of us are multi-talented, and for me, being as artistic as I am, this is one of the many elements that make up who I am. Let's head inside the National Portrait Gallery and let's see what adventures we can find. I do wonder what pose I would have gone for. Probably would have had to have had multiple portraits done. You can't capture this in one painting. Side on, looking at the artist. I do look good. Standing definitely suits me. An added prop. Maybe I would have gone for an added prop, but I don't want the prop to steal the show. It is all about me. Sitting at a table reading books. To make out that I'm intelligent. Nice strategy. Life of an art critic. That's outrageous. That's not art. That's a waste of canvas. Ah, God. So, it's time to address Lisa's misinformation or myths. We'll address a couple of them because we don't want this to drag on too long and people probably don't care, to be honest. But, so, first piece of misinformation was that she claimed that Capitol Police were killed in the incidents. That is not true. The only person who was killed was Ashley Babbitt. She was shot by a Capitol Police officer as she was trespassing on the Capitol. So, we could debate whether it was an appropriate use of force, but we don't need to. An officer did die a couple of days later from a stroke, but let's be honest. If someone took a vaccine and then 3 days later they died of something like a stroke, what are the chances that they're going to put that down as a vaccine-related death? 0. So to try and say that the person had a stroke because they were involved in the Capitol incident, the incident at the Capitol on January 6th, yeah, give me a break. Number 2, let's go. She said the George Floyd protests were essentially peaceful. And let's go, I've typed in Washington DC, the incidents, and AI, you know, it's like mostly peaceful, but then it'll go and say that there was arson and fires, so multiple structures and vehicles set ablaze, particularly near the White House. I don't know what society this is, but setting property and vehicles alight is inappropriate. No amount is acceptable. So historic St. John's Church had a fire set to its nursery building, graffiti damaged the exterior, stained glass, etc., etc. Police vehicles and other cars torched. I don't know what society believes that's acceptable, to burn government property. It's just it's unacceptable. But this is the US. This is the US, and they accept these unacceptable acts. Looting and vandalism occurred in the area, so you can try and describe it as mostly peaceful, but quite honestly, if you're burning cars, you're looting buildings, you're burning structures, that's not a peaceful protest. And to believe otherwise, Lisa needs to stop watching CNN, MSNBC, and start watching or accepting the facts. What was another one? She said that Donald Trump incited the riot. But if you go through that speech that he had before the actual protest, there is not a single word that encouraged them to violently overthrow the Capitol. That's just more misinformation. And Lisa, come on Lisa, you're better than this. Come on, do your research, do your research. We all make mistakes, but we've got to open our mind. We can't just accept what we're told. We've got to investigate, follow the evidence, and make appropriate statements, because that's what society needs. We need to be a society where facts matter. So there's a few that Lisa, well, Lisa's Lisa, and that's the typical person in Washington DC. Yeah, we corrected some of those, and yeah, let's get back into the tour. So I'm here at the Air and Space Museum, and this is the final leg of the DC tour. Yeah, so this is the aircraft that they use to bomb a civilian population, and they'll say that, oh, it resulted in less deaths overall, but that's only to gloss over the fact that if they did that today, that is a clear war crime. There is no justification for dropping a nuclear bomb on a civilian population. And the funny thing is, these same people think they are the good guys in this story we call life. But they're not. They never were, and they certainly aren't. Absolutely horrific. Just think about bombing civilians who had nothing to do with the war. Yes, they might have supported their side. One day, they will bomb your civilian population, and you'll have an issue with it, won't you? You will, because you're a hypocrite. Absolutely horrendous. And these tour guides try and justify it. Oh, more people would have died in the war. Absolutely disgusting. He doesn't know the counterfactual. No one knows the counterfactual. And we all know that modelling is horrendous, and modelling 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago would have been even worse. Absolutely disgusting. But that's humanity. I think I've seen it all. Definitely not going to go to that paid virtual reality section. You're not getting a dime out of me, that's for sure. So, yep, I think that could be a wrap for this. And that's a wrap for Aussie Aaron's DC Adventures. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. For better or worse, there will be more videos. Catch you later. See you next time.